Right now I'm crouched next to a site which is incredibly sacred to the Shoshone-Bannock people, a tribe which historically inhabited the regions of southern Idaho and northern Utah, although they're related genetically and through their histories to a large number of tribes in the Great Plains, for example the Ute, the Paiute, and the Goshute. The Shoshone claim this area as their sacred site, but in reality it does draw into question how far back you have a claim to something, because yes, this is squarely in the center of their historic homeland. However, Map Rock behind me has a history which stretches back to the ending of the last ice age, because in this region of Idaho that we're in right now, the icebergs were retreating. Around 12,000 years ago, the icebergs were going back north into Canada, and it left all of this fertile area. And particularly right now we're in a beautiful valley, which the cliffs up above me, I'll show in a minute, they offer a amazing vantage point over any villages here, as well as there are islands in the center of this river which flows through it. Really just perfect area for growing crops, for gathering, hunting wildlife. And then we have this, and archaeologists don't really know what to make of it. They don't know what these symbols mean, but they think, for the most part, that it could be a map of the local area. They think that it could show even, archaeoastronomy, where the sun and stars align at different times of year, and even where they think that migrations of animals go, and give them information on hunting grounds. However, other archaeologists and historians have come forward saying that makes no sense because there were a large number of trails intersecting here. What I think is most fascinating about this place is that it is over 12,000 years old. So the Shoshone, as we know them, weren't the ones who carved it, but it did become a historic and sacred site for them, one which they more or less did not touch over the many thousands of years until present day. And to me, I think it really does deserve to have more protection around it, because I'm looking down right now, the road is 50 feet right over to my right. And it seems like it would be very, very easy for it to come to some serious harm. But again, fascinating symbols that which don't match very well with other petroglyphs because of their age, how old they are, dating back to the end of the last ice age. I think one of the most fascinating features about Map Rock is the fact that it more or less kind of forms a cut-off area, an enclosed area, which would have broken the wind, and also given some level of secrecy for anybody who was doing, say, something like a ritual in here, maybe a shaman. And if we look here, to me, this obviously looks like a bowl which would have been used to grind herbs. You would have taken a flat, smooth stone and rubbed it along the surface and ground them down. But this is 12,000 years old, so there's no real way of telling because it's weathered so much over time, and these are volcanic rocks. But if we look over here, this is such a complex map. And it's impossible to make out what it means, and any kind of speculation on it would be just that. It'd just be kind of conjecture and, what if, maybe it means this, maybe it means that. But it's so complicated compared to a lot of other petroglyphs you see just of human figures. This is something I learned from visiting kind of sacred sites in Europe and the UK. If you take a look at this, you got obviously like one major large sacred site. You can tell that this is where rituals probably would have taken place along the river, which probably had to do with kind of like a female fertility symbol because that's what water usually represents. But as we pan around, it's a larger structure. And that's one thing that I've noticed about European structures. People will find one stone circle and think that that's the extent of the structure. But in reality, the entire area all around it is just covered with these ancient structures, some of them kind of destroyed by the building of roads, some of them underneath homes that have been built since. But if we walk around, you can see petroglyphs carved all over the stones. I mean, there's a kind of a stick figure, and then over here we've got a very faint petroglyph. And then on the opposite sides of the volcanic rocks, opposite of the main structure, there's plenty of them over there as well.